So there's this new crazy notion on Wall Street and crypto investors that are like, well, Bitcoin, it outperforms. I mean, a recent crash, crypto outperformed everything. I mean, you can't even compare Bitcoin to the stock market. I mean, my God, the stocks in the stock market, they drop so much lower than Bitcoin. That's not even fucking true. Like, if we were to run the numbers, for sure, Bitcoin actually dropped during the crash by a greater percentage than S&P 500, by a greater percentage than NASDAQ, by a greater percentage, even the worst fucking sector of the entire, stock market, which is Russell 2000, which all the Wall Street analysts were pitching you this bullshit trade last year while we were telling you, hey, hold on. Why would you fucking buy the weakest stocks in the market while the world is about to go to hell? But no, every fucking Wall Streeter is like, yeah, it's a catch-up trade. The Russell 2000 is going to catch up. It's gonna catch up to the NASDAQ. And I told you straight up, that was the stupidest shit that was happening then. And I'm referring to like 2024, especially like the second half of 2024. And now I'm here to tell you that as stupid as Russell 2000 trade was back then, I'm here to tell you that's how stupid the crypto bull case is right now on May 1st of 2025. Like, literally, people are not looking at charts. And if they're looking at charts, then the only thing they're looking at is the candle and the price action higher. They're not looking at what is behind it, because not every move higher is bullish. Not every move higher is the same. So you got to break down the components, the composition, the context. And I'm telling you, this is officially the worst bounce in the entire crypto history that I have witnessed since 2008. Now, those of you like haven't been around since 2008, Bitcoin wasn't even around. It evolved as a result of the 2007-2008 collapse. So there is no statistical evidence or charts evidence or historic correlation evidence of how Bitcoin would have actually behaved during the 2007, 2008, 2009 transition time frame. So I would say that if we had that data, it would look very ugly for the bulls. I would also argue that if we had any historic evidence of Bitcoin and crypto trading under the case of stagflation, which is full-blown in the United States, the case of stagflation is full-blown. We're looking at the 1970s, 71, 72, 73, 74, 79. Most of the people argue what? Well, how can it not go higher when dollar's going lower? Well, the recent correlations is what we're looking at, and it tells us that since Trump won, what happened? Well, crypto's been moving nowhere but higher for like months after November 6th. And it was doing that when what? When dollar was going higher. So crypto was going to the fucking moon like Bitcoin was hitting from 60 to 70 to 80 to 90 to 108. It was all happening while what was also true? Dollar was going higher. So what I'm saying is recent correlation points to the fact that dollar and Bitcoin are positively correlated, which means they go in the same direction. If dollar goes higher, so does Bitcoin. Now, it's also been true in the market drop over the last 60 to 90 days. When dollar dropped, some of the biggest days when dollar USD, DXY chart, look at that. When that was taking place, so did Bitcoin drop as well. That is, again, the confirmation for the positive correlation, meaning dollar goes lower, so does Bitcoin. Now, what's been ambiguous is the last 2 weeks of trading, because dollar has set another low while Bitcoin has moved higher. And you could literally argue here saying, well, hold on. We're back to the pre-election correlation, which Bitcoin and dollar had an inverse correlation. I'm saying it's a little bit too early to come to that conclusion. So what's been happening in my view over the last 2 weeks is Bitcoin has been moving higher on the pretense that it was able to hold up in relation to the other market sectors much better and outperform the market. Well, golly, it just didn't drop as much as the rest of the market, which I just explained you. That's garbage. I mean, you can sit down and do the fucking numbers. A drop from 108 to 74K is a lot bigger percentage-wise than a drop in NASDAQ, S&P, or RTY. You can take a look at any sector of the market. It is even bigger than the drop in oil, from 72 all the way to 55, 56. So what I'm saying is, what you're hearing is not a reality of what's actually taking place. So I would argue there's divergence that has been developed. And the reason why I would assign 100% probability that I am correct about the fact that this is a bear case, I wouldn't even call it a bear case. I would call it a severe bear case of divergence in the crypto markets, because you have a situation where so many people are just so fucking bullish out of their mind. But the volume component on the charts is telling me exactly the opposite. That while the price action is telling you that, oh my God, it is so bullish, we're going to 120, we're going to go straight up by the end of the year to 200, 300,000, it's going to fuck, y'all, you watch, it's bull time. You know, all the crypto meme coin, illusionists, they think, well, it's the rotation. The Bitcoin dominance is now going to come to an end. And, here's the time for fucking meme coins to take off. It's the time for the whole crypto market to come back. And it's like, man, you have no historic precedence of showing specifically how would Bitcoin act in a 2007-2008 crash. My argument is, yes, the Federal Reserve injected a shitload of money to save the market back then. But I would argue that Bitcoin would initially drop in a very big way while that whole transition was taking place. And we're to look at the 70s, my argument would be that Bitcoin would be severely damaged. Maybe not damaged as much as Ethereum and some other crypto coins. But it is self-evident to me that based on the information that we have so far from 2008 until now, that Bitcoin will act, at least initially, as a risk asset. Risk assets are in a severe bubble in the United States. So the only thing that could help Bitcoin is if the rest of the world were to participate in a big way. But considering recently the biggest hype, all the money, you hear Trump's son, talking crazy shit out there. Like, people have overhyped this to proportions that, people are just fucking blind. They cannot simply connect the historic evidence that we do have, which, again, you don't have to go back very far, but pull up the chart of Bitcoin in the beginning of the COVID crash, and they injected a shitload of money, QE, lowering rates to zero, and for a while, Bitcoin was fucking collapsing. And my argument would be that the difference between the COVID crash and now is Bitcoin COVID crash was short-lived. The current crash is being caused by the biggest fucking bubble the world has ever seen in United States market history. And the proportions at which the current state of the market is and the lack of the participation on this bounce lead me to a very easy decision here that this is ultimately the greatest bounce in crypto to short. That is not a popular view. Again, everybody else will tell you Bitcoin is going to the moon. But, you know, I think by the end of the year, Bitcoin is going to be way the fuck lower. I would argue Bitcoin is going to be way the fuck lower in the next couple of weeks from where it's currently trading. I'm recording it. I mean, it's sub 100. I mean, clearly we can touch 100. But I think other market components are going to let us know, such as MSTR bubble is beyond any fucking proportions. You have MSTR stock that gets diluted perpetually. The dilution of MSTR stock, which is arguably the biggest buyer of Bitcoin, is going unnoticed by the market participants now for a number of years, and the level at which the misexecution of the Bitcoin buys that they're doing has reached absolutely ridiculous fucking amounts, to the point that, imagine, Michael Saylor of MSTR has been buying Bitcoin since like 2020 or 2019, somewhere around there. He started buying it. And after all of his buys, his average cost now on Bitcoin is almost matching the highs before fucking Bitcoin collapsed. And I know right after the COVID crash, guys, it's fucking insane. MSTR average cost on Bitcoin is approaching 70,000, and the reason why I'm saying approaching, MSTR surely have been buying Bitcoin again at 93,000, or call it 92,800 this week. I wouldn't be shocked if they've been buying it today at 96, 97,000, which makes them again the top bidder every fucking time Bitcoin goes higher. MSTR buys. Now, you know what the problem is with that? Anybody knows you buy low, you sell fucking high. I guess it doesn't matter if you have no fucking intention of selling it, which raises the actual problem is MSTR have borrowed a shitload of money from bond investors, from preferred stock investors, and the company itself does not generate any profit. So the question is, how are these investors going to be paid if MSTR is not planning on selling any Bitcoin? That makes it officially a pyramid scheme by the greatest magnitude of all fucking times. That makes Ponzi look like a fucking minnow. You guys, this is at such proportion at the moment that, I mean, the only thing that is sustaining MSTR stock is the fact that it is partially backed by BlackRock. So most of you are not going to want to hear, well, BlackRock owns like now 5% of MSTR. Well, there is no way MSTR is going to drop then, Leo. I'm saying, like, absolutely it can fucking drop. 5% of ownership in MSTR to BlackRock is nothing. Like, it's a penny. So I'm saying is it could get really ugly because you have a major player like fucking BlackRock that becomes a part of this major grand Ponzi scheme, and there's no way out of it. It only looks good when Bitcoin price goes high, but it looks really painful when Bitcoin price drops. considering we're in the middle of a fucking greatest recession of all times, which could translate into a Great Depression, the worst the United States has ever seen, and most of the people still don't even calculate it in their projections going into the end of the year or next year. I mean, I think we got a pretty easy shortable case here, while the rest of the world is just so fucking highly bullish. I would bet MSTR is in the biggest fucking bubble the world has ever seen. And I wouldn't be shocked if over the course of next month or two, shares of MSTR dropped all the way to $125. So imagine this, that it now trades. We actually took a sizable short position on MSTR today. We've been shorting it. We've been shorting it successfully from $540 all the way down to $220, $234 multiple times. And now, guys, I mean, we're at a moment of truth. Okay, the bubble can absolutely freaking explode here, and it wouldn't be shocking, right? Like if MSTR dropped, like maybe after hours, MSTR is supposed to report earnings. Like nobody gives a shit about MSTR earnings, right? I mean, why? Well, I mean, who cares? I mean, we all know MSTR have not made a dime in the last 20 years of its business operation. So we know it's going to lose fucking money. But at some point, people got to start looking at it and saying, like, hold on a second. If it's losing money, then where the fuck is it going to get the money to pay the interest on the preferred shares? Where's it going to get the money to pay the bondholder? Where's it going to get the fucking money if it's not planning to sell a single Bitcoin forever and motherfucking ever? Which takes me to the next part of this subject here, the greatest short of all fucking times. MSTR blow up. Long term, it goes to fucking $10 and it files for bankruptcy. And it can happen rather rapidly, guys, because the market right now is in a state of a fucking illusion. It does not see things for what they are. And there comes a moment of realization, and you just seeing the little bits and pieces of it over the course of 90 days where everybody in Wall Street have told you, oh my God, United States consumer is strong. We're so fucking blah, 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 blah. All this crap they've been feeding you in the last 2 years, all of that was a fucking illusion. United States consumer is total shit. You're fixing to have United States businesses go fucking belly up bankrupt. Okay, you're going to have record number of people losing their fucking jobs like United States has never seen since the 70s, since fucking 1929. And you're going to sit here and tell me that under these circumstances, crypto market is going to go fucking higher? You have to be out of your fucking mind. So, the point is, Bitcoin is known as a store of value. Now, the whole idea of storing value means what? What does it really entail? Well, you store something so you could, you store ice cream in the fridge for some time until what? Until it's time to consume it. You have frozen pizzas until when? Until it's time you store frozen pizzas so you could consume it later. You store, maybe you buy a piece of property as a store of value, thinking you're going to sell it later when the price goes up. But the whole idea of storing value, you store it. It doesn't mean you bury it forever. So the entire definition of the store of value automatically entails that there's going to be a moment in time where you're going to fucking sell it. Otherwise, you should call it the burial. You should call it there's probably a better word for it. I can't think of it right now. But the fucking, just, if you want to bury your money in Bitcoin and never touch it, It doesn't make it an investment. It doesn't make it a store of value. If you're looking at Bitcoin as a store of value, at some point you will sell it. Which takes me to the next part of this puzzle. Right now, in the United States of America, people are trying to go and refinance their home. Not like in a way to refinance to get the lower interest rates, because interest rates now are higher, but in a way to get like a secondary mortgage. So somebody's got their first mortgage, now they need extra fucking money to survive, to just be able to afford the home. They have to go and get a secondary mortgage. Well, they can't do it because officially the data that we've gotten, I bet you it's a lot worse than this. Anybody that's going right now to get a home mortgage, a second loan on their house that derives from the supposedly the equity, the extra equity you've built over the years in your house, the bank is telling you, fuck you, because we really don't know what your house is worth anymore, because nobody's buying a home. We're not approving anybody to be buying homes. And now you want a second mortgage at the time when the economy is going to shit. We're not going to approve you. We don't care if your fucking credit score is 700 or 800. We're just not going to give you a fucking loan. And that tells you what? That tells you that the current state of economy is a severe case of serious liquidity issue. Now, one thing, you're going to go apply for a credit card and they tell you, fuck you. Okay, we don't care what your credit score is. You already got 50 credit cards, whatever. And one thing, you cannot get a signature loan because credit card is not backed by anything. But another thing is when you go and you try to borrow a second loan against your house and they're telling you, fuck you, we're not borrowing you the money. The decline rates, meaning like the number of people that applies for a second home loan versus the number of people that gets turned down for that loan is at historic highs. So I'm assuming if people cannot get a home loan, they also are going to have a very hard time getting the loan that is not collateralized by anything but a fucking signature. That makes sense. I mean, that's 2 plus 2, right? So you may not be hearing about it yet, but you're going to hear about it pretty fucking soon. Are you going to hear record delinquencies on everything, beginning credit cards, auto loans, home loans, fucking, that cannot be good for banks. There's still fucking Wall Street fucking idiots out there that are pitching you that banks is the best trade for 2025. They have lost their fucking mind, guys. United States of America is heading into a period of the highest delinquencies ever seen in the history of the United States. And these goddamn Wall Street analysts are telling you that banks are the best sector to invest your money in. No wonder millions of people in America are going to lose their fucking pension fund. It is fucking ridiculous what's happening. And to think that when so many market sectors are folding at such a speed, that crypto market is going to outperform everything else out there, I think it is so far-fetched. But yeah, it's happening. It's happening because people are fucking clueless. Because they think somehow that fucking worthless meme coins are going to be worth more when the whole economy is folding and collapsing. Because people have been artificially brainwashed to look at the wrong information, or in this particular instance, the lack of fucking context of the move that is currently taking place. You are in the biggest fucking bubble the world has ever seen on Mstr, on Bitcoin, on Ethereum, which still, by the way, at the time I'm recording, it still trades at like 1,850, whatever it is today, 1,850, and we are buying the fuck out of puts on Ethereum. It's highly controversial, guys. It's not for everyone. And that is why most of the fucking people don't make it in trading. If you feel comfortable about taking the trade, I will tell you exactly how much you're going to make on it. You ain't going to make shit if you're comfortable taking the trade. Oh, you may be happy for a moment. But a few moments later, when the trade goes against you, you're not going to be fucking happy. Anyways, guys, if you want to learn how to fucking trade, if you really want to call the bullshit in the market when it needs to be called, and you want to learn the charts, damn it, not every move higher is a bullish move. And somehow the market is so fucking retarded right now that they think the move in crypto that is happening now is bullish. I'm here to tell you, they got it so fucking wrong. Until USDT peg collapses, because USDT and USDC is backed by US government bonds, which is total fucking trash. Until USDT collapses, you do not touch crypto. That is going to be the point of max pain, and that's when you load up on crypto. Don't be a fucking fool looking at the next green candle. Find the balls to short it. The big drop is just ahead. But don't be fucking shorting it when it's already collapsing. Do the right thing and get in touch with us today, May 1st. The greatest entry to short various parts of the market the world has ever fucking seen. Be the greatest short seller of all fucking times. You can do it with 30 market moves. But you gotta take action now.